Okay. See here. So as I mentioned, today we are going to be covering the set and dictionary. So for the first point is these both are unordered list, whereas tuple, list, and string, these are all ordered collection. That means, however, the data we insert the same order, we can get the data. But in set, we can't expect that the data, however you inserted the same order, you may get, you may not get. The output will be in different order also. Okay. So that's why we called it as unordered collection, set and dictionary. Okay. So now coming to the first point, as I mentioned already, the unique feature of this particular set is it only allows, it contains so only unique values. Okay. So it contains only unique values. Set does not generally stores the duplicate values. Like if you store also, it will override the last inserted value with the initial value, and we can able to see the final value only. Okay. So it does not like maintain the all the duplicate values in the what we can say that output. Okay. And the second, as I mentioned, it is unordered collection. Okay. So that means whatever the data we have in the set, it may print in different order. We cannot expect same output in every time. Okay. And the next one, set is indicating by curly brackets. But even the for dictionary also we are mentioning same notation. So for empty color if set, if you want, we can take the construct only. We can't use the notations. Okay. So because the empty notation by default will consider as a dictionary, it does not take as a set. So if you want to create an empty set, we have to go for set of. And the next one, it is also a collection of same or different type elements as usual, as I mentioned. So set is also a collection of any kind of elements. So collection of any type of elements. Okay. And the next point, the additional feature of set is it supports set operations. Basically, whatever the other collections we have, like list, tuple, and dictionary, does not support any set operations. Set operations in the sense, you may have it like union or minus and what do you call it, intersection. These kind of operations we have in what we can say that in set we don't have in other collections. Okay, basically these are we call set operations. Okay. So this is briefly about set. So if I want to define the set in Python, so as I mentioned, right? So if you want to define the empty set, we can write set of. We can't write curly brackets. But with the data, if you want to define, yes, we can write like this. Let's take 10, 20, 30, 40 like this. Or you can even write as a combination of mixed one, like example A and sorry, 10. Let's take B, and let's take 7.57 like this. So you can store as a set is a collection of same or different types of elements in the collection, and we can iterate as like other collections. So using for loop we can use, or using index also we can use, using inbuilt methods also we can use. Okay, let's take a very traditional approach as I mentioned. For x in, let's take for x in, yes, if I'm writing, let's take print x, so then automatically it print all the values from the respective set. So whatever the values we have in the set, automatically it will take all the values and it will retrieve them from the set, and it will print on the console. But as I mentioned clearly, if I'm mentioning even in the, let's take 10 twice, so it does not allow that. So that means while you are printing the S, it will print the only 110, it does not print the 2 10s in the output. So that is we have to understand and we have to remember. Okay. So set always will remove the duplicates and will keep the only one set of values only, does not maintain all the time two sets. So till the point, in any doubt, please tell me. Till the point, if anybody have any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, I will move to the next point. So what do you mean by ordered or unordered? That also will show you today in the execution. Okay, so you may understood. Okay, I am hearing nothing, so I can consider nothing. And as usual, like other methods, here also we have a method called a function called length. Length of set will give you the how many values we have. Okay, that we can use as similar to the min max, that also we can use here. Now coming to the new points, like as I mentioned, right? So what are the methods which supported by set will consider now, and we'll go for execution. Okay, so basically I'm not touching again the same topics, like how the index will be there and how the data will be retrieved and how to be visualized. That all I'm not touching because that all part of list we covered. So just what are the new things apart from the list of what we covered, that only I'm telling in the set because that is only important. Okay. So now the first point, if you want to add, again it's a mutable object. So that is another one. Mutable means so we can modify the data what we have in the set. So that means whatever the values we have or whatever the columns we have, we can, whatever the list items we have, we can delete, update or insert or modify or whatever we can do that. So that all operations we can operate on the set as like list, I can say that, unlike tuple, because tuple does not support that all operations. And let's take methods will come back. The first method is add. So basically, if you remember, when you go for like a list, we have a method like append method is used to add the new element to the list. But in the set, if you want to add something to the existing list, we can use the add method. So add is used to insert a new item. Okay, insert a new item. And the next one we have update. So if you want to update the multiple values, like it is equal to extend, I can say that. Add multiple items at a time. Okay, so if I want to add single item, we can use go for add. If you want to add the multiple items, you can go for update method. So update is used to two activities. One is updating the existing set with a new set of elements. With that, it will update the existing set. Okay, and the next one is like like what we call to get the to remove the data from the set. We have remove option as usual. So it will remove the specified element from the set, deletes the item from the set. Okay, so similarly we have another method called discard also. Not regularly we are using, but it is also deleting the value. Okay, but only difference when you go for discard and remove. So when if the remove, I mean that when you're trying to remove something, if the item is not exist, okay, remove will raise an exception. I mean that it will raise an error, the like element not found, something like that. But discard does not do that. If the element is there, it will delete it. If it is not there, it doesn't do anything. As like if you remember count and index. Okay, if the element is not there, index will throw an error, but count will return the 0. Similar to that, remove will throw an error when there is no element which is specified, but discard does not throw any error. Okay, it's because safe method to remove the item. Okay, that is the difference between the, I can say that discard and what we can say that remove. And similarly, as like what we call list, we have pop also will remove last element. Okay, will remove the last value. So remove always used to remove the last element, but the point here is pop is not really useful here in this set method. Okay, why? Because as I mentioned already, it does not maintain any order. I mean to say how the values will be there in the set, we can't predict internally because the order is always unpredictable. So if you are using pop randomly, it will delete every time the one value which is in the last position by that time. So we can't give the assurance that what is the value will be deleted by using pop method in the set. But in the list, we can assure that because always it will pick the last value only. But in the set, it's not like that. Randomly it will delete, because that's the reason I can't assure of that what the value will be deleted. Okay. And similarly, we have as like that clear also. So clear will delete all the values, delete all the items. So whatever the data we have in the collection, everything will be deleted. And similarly list, we have del also. So del set, it will delete the respective complete set. But clear does not delete the set, it only delete the values what we have in the set. Okay, but still the list will be there, I mean the set will be there. But if you're using the del keyword, yes, pretty sure you cannot even get the set object, it will be done, it remove everything. Yeah, these are the a couple of methods which commonly used as part of set nano. But again, I mentioned, right, along with that, some other methods which are commonly used in the set is one is like union. So union will give the all the values from two sets, I can say that. So we can join sets two ways, like example set one dot union of s2. So one set can do the union of another set. So when you do when you perform the union of two sets, so the outcome or the result of the respective union is, it's a combination of both the sets what we have in the S1 and S2. Like example, if you have S1 is 5 elements and S2 is 6 elements, then the total elements will be 11 elements if there is considered as a no duplicates. If duplicates is there, definitely, as I mentioned, union does not give the duplicate values from the outcome. And similarly, we have intersection. So intersection will give the only common elements. I can say that which are the common elements from both the common values from both the list. Okay, so whatever the value which is available in both set S1 and S2, so that only will fetch out. Okay, common values will be out. So that only will be output will come. And the final one, as we use it repeatedly, difference. So difference, nothing but difference of two sets, I can say that. Like example, if I'm writing S1 difference S2, I'm just telling an example, S1 difference S2. So the output, how it will means, it will do the S1 minus S2. So whatever the values we have in the S1 which are not in the S2 will come as output. Like see, values from S1 which are not part of S2. So that values will come as part of difference. And similarly, we have symmetric difference also. Okay, symmetric difference. So which is equivalent to your S1 minus S2 union, okay, S2 minus S1. So if you remember your like maybe childhood days, you may remember all these operations like intersection, union of two sets, and difference, symmetric difference. So that are the operations also we can perform on this particular sets. That is basically idea of the sets. Okay, so any doubt or any question till the point, please ask me. So these are the inbuilt methods which are available on the sets in the Python, I can say that. And also some are the even other methods also, like is, disjoint, such kind of thing, but we are not using, that's what I'm not touching that methods. Okay, but these are the repeated and commonly we used methods in the list, I mean the set, sorry, set. So if you people clear with this methods and set how we declare, so we can maybe go for execution of the sets now. So please confirm that. If anybody have any doubts till the point, please ask me. Otherwise, I'll go to it. Okay. So I didn't get anything. So we can go for execution in that case. So here I'm taking a set as an example, and also first of all, one by one I will show you the topics what we covered so far. The first one I'm telling, like, I'm taking S1 as an input, okay? So where I'm passing some data to hit, let's take I'm passing 10 also, okay? And now let's take example, I'm trying to printing the data in the S1. So for example, we can simply print S1, okay? So now you see, if I'm printing the S1, the expected 5 values, right? But here you see, it will give you only 4 values, that is 10, see, 40, 10, 20. But if you really observe that, see, I given the inputs in an ordered way, like 10, 20, ascending way. But see, output, how it looks like, see, 40, 10, 20, 30. See, that randomly coming. Now, if I'm running again, you cannot treat it the same order. See that now. Now, we'll see that will rerun multiple times. What happens, you see. Okay, now what I will do, here I will add 50 now. Okay, now see what is the output, it will change now. Yeah, see that. So the output again changed. But if I'm using the same thing as a list, see, if I'm using same thing as a list, see how the data, the same output will come here. See that. So this is the difference between ordered and unordered. So set and dictionary does not maintain order. So the values which might come random way. But when you go for list, the way how you store, the same way it will print the data. So this is the first point I want to highlight. And the second point also covered as part of, see here, if I'm giving 10 twice, but in output also you are getting 10 twice. But if the same thing, if I'm changing to sets, you are getting 10 only once. It's not coming twice in the list, because see 10 is coming only one time, because it is set. And even you can print type of that object, will give you as a set. So type means what is the data type it is assigned internally, will print you. So here you can clearly mention that it is a set. See that. So likewise, you can observe that that 2 points. And that's the next point. Let's take, if I want to print value by value, yes, you can use for x in S1 print x. So now you will get all the values one by one. I can say that. Okay. So now you see, you will get all the values one by one without any brackets. So using for loop, you can always print the data from the set. And now you can perform some of the operations. Okay. So I'm taking, this is my set S1. Okay, let's take example. I'm taking S1 as again, sorry, 10, 20, let's take 70, 80 I'm taking. Okay, this is my two sets. So now I will show you the output of the what you call set operations first of all. Okay, so the first one, I'm trying to expose that S1 union S2. Okay, so let's take example, print S1 dot union of S2. So as I mentioned, union will give all the values from both the list without duplication. See the output, if you observe that 70, 40, 10, 80, 50, 20, 30. 10 and 20 is common in both the S1 and S2. So it's coming only one time. But remaining all are coming as a common set. If you observe that, the union is taking as a common set, you see. Similarly, if I'm using instead of union intersection, okay, so now it will give the common elements only. That means what are the common elements here? If you observe the S1 and S2, the common elements are 10 and 20. So you will get an output of 10 and 20. See that. So this is the basic difference between union and intersection. Union means it will give all the values from the collections without duplication. But whereas intersection means it will give the only I can say duplicate or common values from both the list. The next one, as I mentioned, difference. So difference means, as I explained, the S1 difference S2 means the values which are there in the S1 not in the S2. So simple. Remove the common, and obviously the other elements will come. So here the common elements are 10, 20. Remove them. The other values what we have in S1, 30, 50, 40. So that is your output, 30, 50, 40. See that. Similarly, if I'm making S2 here in the starting point, and in the brackets if I'm mentioning S1, opposite. So you will get 70, 80. See that. And the same way, if you want to get all the undifference elements, then you have to go with symmetric difference. Now you will get all the elements except duplicate. That means what I'm trying to explain, I hope you understand. So except means what is that? 10 10, 20. Remaining all 5 values will be coming as an output. Okay. So now, sorry, one more bracket. Yeah. So now you see, you will get all the 5 values except 10, 20. See that. So these are the 4, what we can say that set operations like union, intersection, difference, and symmetric difference. Okay, I hope you understand now. And similarly, you can perform the other operations too, like as I mentioned. Let's take s1 dot add of, let's take, I'm writing 100. So it indicates, so I'm writing print s1. So check it out. So you will get the all the values along with the 100. See that 100 is added. Now if I want to add the multiple values, as we have s1 dot update, where you can pass multiple values like this. Let's take example 89, 88, 87. 3 values I'm adding. So now you will get 3 values as an output. See that. Oh, sorry for that line. Oh, sorry, I didn't print the S1. Now I'm printing S1. Now you see, you will get the output. See, where I added 88, 89, 87. Okay. So likewise, if you want to add one element, you can use add. If you want to add multiple elements, you can use update. So similarly, if you want to delete something, as I mentioned, S1 dot remove. Okay. So remove. Let's take. I'm giving 450 I'm giving. See, actually S1.450 is not there actually. So now you will get error. See that. That is what I told you. See that 450 key error is coming. But if I'm telling the same thing discard option, so it doesn't give any error. Just it won't delete and it won't give you any error. That is the difference between remove and discard. But after performing this, if you print, let's take print S1 and I'm trying to remove the, let's take 87. So you won't get the 87 after discarding. See that 87 removed. Even remove also will work like that only. Okay. So remove also will work like that only. And if I'm using pop method, so randomly, as I mentioned, right, I cannot give the assurance, but one value get deleted. What is that? We'll compare now. Now you see, yes, 100 will be deleted. See that. Okay. From this 100 will be deleted. Okay. And similarly, we have clear also. So clear means it will remove all the values from the set. So see that empty set is printed now. Okay. So it doesn't have any set of values, so it printed empty set. So likewise, you can perform the operations on the set whenever you require or wherever you require. So these are the simple approach how to use the set in our examples. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. Otherwise, we'll go to the dictionary concept. It is important again. So maybe we can spend a good amount of examples also on the dictionary and strings, that all combinations. But first we require to understand today how the dictionary will be and how the syntax will be and what are the methods available. That all we'll discuss today. In the next class, I will spend time for examples with the list dictionary strings. These 3 examples I will cover in the next class. Maybe if time permits, tomorrow I will take class. Otherwise, next class will be Monday. But on the in that class, I will take the examples. But today I will complete the syntactical notations of the dictionary. So please let me know if you have any doubts or questions till the point. I'm giving a 1 to 2 minutes of break. Just please think through and ask me the doubts. Otherwise, I will go for dictionary concept. Okay, I'm back. So we can start now dictionary concept. Okay. So coming to the dictionary, it is also indicating curly brackets only, as I mentioned. But if you want to create the empty, like empty dictionary, yes, we can use empty like this, or you can use DICT off, you can use. As I mentioned, right, for set we can't use like that, we have to use set operate construct only, but for dictionary we have a provision to use both the options, because Python, if you define a curly brackets empty, then it will take as a dictionary only. And the major difference in the dictionary is it is not a single valued collection, it's a double valued collection. That means each time we are storing key values. So each time we are storing the two values, not single value. If you go for other all collections, we are storing only one value. But here we can store two values at a time. Out of that, first one is key and second one is value. And here rule is key should be always unique. It should not be duplicate, okay? But value may be duplicates. So same value we can store multiple times also. Value may be duplicates. Maybe means it may not. But your keys always should be unique only in the dictionary. You cannot give same key multiple times. As I mentioned in the as like said, if you given also doesn't show any error, it will override the values. That means initially you given one key X and same X you given later on, the later on value it will consider, the first value will be sign up. That means it won't be there in the dictionary. So that is the behavior of the overwritten in the Python. Okay. And it is also mutable. That means the data whatever we have we can modify. And it is also unordered. That means however the data we stored, we may not get the same order. It is also unordered. Okay. And it is also again say any type of data we can store. There's no rule. Same type only we can store. Any type we can store any type of values. So this is a pretty simple about dictionary. Okay. And now if I want to store the dictionary, so simply empty dictionary, you can write like this as I mentioned. Or if you want to store some data, see how I'm writing. Let's take first one key. One, let's take colon. Let's take, you can give the A, I'm giving comma. 2 colon, let's take, I'm giving B comma. 3 colon, let's take C, I'm giving. Okay. So likewise you can read like the here the 1, 2, 3 are called as keys, and A, B, C are called as here 1, 2, 3 are known as keys as I mentioned, and whereas A, B, C are we call values. So remember the second column what we have, that is called values, and the values which are before colon we call keys. And similarly you can also store the same approach. A colon 1 comma B colon 2 comma C colon 3. So here now what happened? A, B, C are become keys, okay, and 1, 2, 3 are become values. So by this you should understand there is no rule that keys should be strings or a value should be strings, or generally some people will think keys are numbers always or indexes or it's not like that. Key might be anything. It may be value, it might be string or anything, okay. And also you can store multiple combinations. Like example, name I'm taking as a Satish. Let's take here left and right strings only, key and value. Maybe I'm taking salary as a string, and the value which I'm taking as a number. Okay. And something like ID I'm taking. Okay, ID as a number. Let's take. So here let's take salary I'm taking as a 20,000.0. Okay. So likewise you can combine the data in multiple combinations also. So that's what I'm concluding. All the collections, not only dictionary or list or set, all the collections supports different types of data type elements. So you can insert any value at any place. Even you can insert one collection to another collection. That is also will cover nested collections. So we can create list in the list, dictionary in the dictionary, or list in the dictionary. The combinations I can say, the nesting. So we can also create a combination of collections also as a part of our program. So that is also possible of Python collections. So nested collections we called it is okay. So similarly, it is also giving a length, but length of items. So the here 1A or name Satish, if you consider the combination we call it is an item basically. So here len of D we call 3, not 6. Remember, because here in the dictionary, the key value combination will consider as a one item or one value. We can't count key separate, value separate. That's why the length of the D will give you here 3 only. It won't give you 6. And similarly, it also supports del of D. So that means the dictionary will be deleted here itself. Okay. And now if I want to print the data, so now if I want to take retrieve the data from the dictionary, so yes, we have multiple approaches they given them in that method. So one by one we'll see now. The first method they given for, as usual, X in D if I'm writing. So simply if I'm writing print X. So here what happened, it will print the keys only. Remember that if I'm using only traditional approach as like a list for loop, then it will print only keys. That is, if you consider in the last example, if you take, what are the keys here? If you see name, comma, salary, comma, let's take ID. These are the output you are getting in the this for loop. For X in D, let's take example, I'm writing D dot value. So there is an inbuilt function values in the dictionary. So it's a function of values. So values will get only values in the collection. I mean to say dictionary. So print now X. So now what happened, you know, it will only print the values from the respective collection. Like example, what are the values? Satish, 20,000 and 1. Similarly, we have for X in, so here we have different methods to retrieve the data. That is what my point here. So we can, I mean to say, try to execute in the output so you can easily understand instead of theoretically telling. Okay. So what I'm trying to take, creating one program, DACT demo. Okay. So now you see here I'm taking the dictionary. Now first approach what I told you for X in D. Okay, one by one you can see directly output you can understand, right, instead of theoretically. So now as I mentioned, if I'm writing like this, it will print only keys. See what are the keys here? Sorry. Yeah, what are the keys here? See name, salary, ID. See the only keys are printed, right? Now if I'm using D dot values, now you will get all the values from the dictionary. That is Satish 20,001. See that the output if you see. And if I'm giving instead of values, again there is a keys method also. We'll also get the keys only. So there is no difference in name, salary, ID. Okay. And if I'm using items here, so item is, as I mentioned, right? Item is both combination of key and value. So both together you will get the output. Now you see name Satish, salary 20,000, ID 1. And if you want to print, these are all again, see if you clearly observe that individual each one has a tuple. See open brackets. So tuple. So if you want to print separately, now you can write X comma Y. So X comma Y means X will get the first value, Y will get the second value. So now you see again key values will be printed separately without tuple. So these are the different approaches, Nana. Okay. So let's take, there is another approach like, as I mentioned, let's take example. If I'm writing simply D approach, let's take, if I'm writing simply D, what I told you, you're getting only key, right? So I want value also, assume that in this case, I want value, then comma, okay. So you can write space, assume that. So now there is an inbuilt method called get, okay. So get is used to get the value for the given key. So now you see each key along with the value is getting, see that. So get method will help you to get the the value for given key value, okay. And here if you want to update the what I can say that dictionary, okay. So for that we don't have any insert or add methods, we have only update. So if you want to insert one value or multiple values, we have only the one option called update only, okay. So how to do, I'm telling now. So print D, okay. So let's take, I'm printing the D value. See, this is the ID, okay. Now I told you one more, right? If I'm giving the duplicate, what happens? See, ID I'm giving double time, but for the second time I'm giving 10. So now what happens? See, while I'm printing, you will get only ID 10. See that there's no more called ID called 1. So this is the nature of the dictionary. So if you're giving duplicate keys, it does not, I mean to say, it does not keep the both the values. It will keep the latest value only, okay. And now if I want to update something, yes, you can update as I mentioned. So let's take, I'm taking X followed by some 100. So this is what I'm updating, and again I'm printing the D. So here I given only one value, but similar to that you can add any number of values. See that X 100 is coming. Now if you want to add one more, yes, comma, again y, let's take 101. Likewise, any number of values you can add to the dictionary in the update method itself. We don't have any add or append, extend, such kind of methods. For everything we have only one method, that is update. So update is used to update the data which is already there in the dictionary. Okay. And the other way also you can use index, also you can use like index approach also we can use. Like example, for x in d, as I mentioned, we can use get method, right? Instead of that you can use even d of x. So it also will give you the values which are there in the dictionary. See that the values what we have in the dictionary will print it out. So index method we call, but instead of index 102, instead of that we can use the key as an index now. So if you want to specifically print the let's take example, I want to print the only name only. So yes, we have a possibility like d of, within the double quotes you have forward the key of the respective value, like now you will get Satish, that like that. So based on the indexes also we can get it out. Okay. So likewise you can perform the operations on the dictionary as per our requirement. Like here we have so many methods. See that update, as we covered, items, and clear, as you know, always clear will clear or remove all the data from the dictionary. Values, as I covered. Copy means it will create a duplicate copy of the dictionary. So that means let's take example, d1 equal to d dot copy I written. So now d1 also having the same data. See that, print d1. Okay. Now you see you will get the same d1, same output as a d1. Okay. Let's take example here. I'm mentioning d1 dot update. Okay. Let's take as I mentioned x and colon 100 and give it. Now I'm printing again. Okay. Print d1. Okay. So now you see the d1 get updated definitely. Okay. So now here I'm printing d. Okay. So d is not, we didn't update anything, but see the d is not updated anything, but d1 get updated now, because d dot copy, what it will create, it will create a new copy and store the d1. So that means the data what we have initial d, it's having the d1, but the memory is different, both are differently created. Okay. But if I'm using d1 equal to d instead of copy, okay, what happened, you need to see. Now you see, if I'm writing d1 equal to d, now also d1 and d are both are different. But if I'm doing any changes in the d1, the d also get reflected here, you see. So this also you can remember, d1 equal to d, d1 equal to d dot copy, there is a difference. That's what technically called a shallow copy, deep copy. Shallow means it will only copy the values, but deep means it also copy the memory. So now in this case, d1 equal to d means it also copies the memory. So it does not allocate separate memory. Both are taking the advantage of same memory, but in the different names. So please remember this difference also. And similarly, we have other methods also, can try with that. And if you are getting any doubts or any clarifications required while you're doing the practice, I even shared some of the tasks list with you in the afternoon time. So please do the practice, and whatever the doubts you have, you can ask me in the class, or if you come to the office personally also you can ask. Whatever the clarification required, I will give it to you. Okay. So in the next class, I will more on take the examples on these all topics, whatever so far covered, like example strings and mathematics and collections. Okay, so using these all topics, I will cover the different examples which are commonly used in interviews basically. So as a fresher, if you go interview, what are the common questions they will ask on the collections, that might be covered as part of next class. So once that is done, I may go for the one of the important topic again, functions. So how to create a function in Python, and how to reuse the code which we created as part of the function, and what are the different types of functions we have, that all will be covered as part of the upcoming class. So that's what my planning. So either tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will take one more class to complete these examples, so that Monday onwards we'll start the functions topic. Okay, so that is my plan. So I will let you know by tomorrow mid of the day whether I'm taking tomorrow or Saturday, so that I will inform, and Monday I will definitely take the class for functions. Okay, so this is all about today. So please let me know if you have any doubts, otherwise I will quit the class.